Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is your favorite show, Daily Calls, a show that answers all your stock-specific queries. Top market experts join in on the show to also address your questions about specific stocks in your portfolio. In case you're here for the first time, well, the WhatsApp number is flashing on your screens. Do send in all your questions here along with your name, location and your contact details. In case you're watching us live on our YouTube platform, where you can also use the comment section there to send in all your queries, and I'll be happy to pick up some of those questions to address it with our top guests. And now let's look at how the markets are trading before we introduce our guest to you. The Nifty has actually now slipped below the flat line. You can see a 70 point of a dip, 24,258 points at this point in time for the Nifty. You also have some sectors that are still holding up, like a pharma, metals, IT and private banks, but large part of the sectors have actually given in into the losses right now. On the stock specific action, on the Nifty, you have IndusInd Bank that's rallying 5%. That's the top mover today. Grasim Ultratech Cement from the cement pack is moving up. Dr. Reddy's and Cipla from the pharma pack are also up and about in trade. But a large part of the stocks on the Nifty also have slipped into the red. FMCG names like Hindustan Unilever, Nestle. So HUL post earnings, Nestle also down by about 2%. You also have Bharti Airtel, M&M, ICICI Bank and ONGC as some of the stocks that are declining in trade. But in the F&O space, there's some action. We have, names like Davis Laboratories jumping about 5 odd percent in trade, IndusInd Bank, and also Dalmia Bharat post earnings is also seeing up and about as well at this point in time. So that's how some of the action is as far as the markets go. Let's now welcome our guest on board and introduce the guest who will be answering your queries. Akshay Bhagwat joins in, Senior Vice President of Derivatives Research at JM Financial. Warm welcome, Akshay. Good to have you with us. Well, to tell us your view on the markets, we've had 7 straight days of move on the higher side, but today also being the F&O expiry session, we are seeing some softness on the markets. What's the sense that you have?
Good afternoon, Sakshi. So yes, it's been a one-way rally, and market has seen a very smooth one-way directional move despite the rough patch in terms of the news flow which you're having globally. So that's a very positive move which Nifty has seen. Technically, the levels of 23,800 breakout, which we saw a few trading sessions back, was a very positive development on the index, which sets up Nifty for the next upside target till 24,700 to 800 zone. So till the levels of 23,800 is respected or held by the index, there is no reason to worry about. There may be some short bouts of choppiness in the markets, expiry day, so it's a very dull day surprisingly, but considering the broader setup, still be positioned on the buy side with targets of 24,700. That is the advice for the May series.
Okay, fair point. Let's look at some of the questions that are coming in and we can come back to our views as well on the markets too. Let's first focus on the question from our WhatsApp number that we are getting. This is Maurya from Bengaluru. He wants to know your outlook on Asian Paints. He already has a 2500 call option for the May series on Asian Paints. What's the suggestion that you can give to Maurya?
Asian Paints, see, it's more of a short-term momentum counter in terms of the price action because the broader term charts are still negative for Asian Paints. It is just that the last few trading sessions have seen some bit of a recovery in the prices. In fact, if you look at today's intraday chart, there was some positive action in the start of the day, but the positive gains in the morning session have been wiped off as I see it right now at 2456. So since you have bought an option trade for the May series, I'm not very bullish on this counter of May. So the suggestion is better to take an exit in Asian Paints since you are in a product which is highly time sensitive. That's an option buy call. I do not see any major upsides in Asian Paints, so the recommendation is to take an exit.
Okay, fair point. Let's take some other questions that are coming in on our YouTube as well. This is Nancy. She says, good afternoon. I have Hoodco shares at 250. Do you see my levels approaching anytime soon? Can I also get any upcoming targets to exit my position while the markets are continuing to be volatile? What's your suggestion on Hoodco at 250 is her purchase level?
Hudco has seen a good recovery from the levels of 160 to 170. So, in fact, if I look at the longer term charts, the entire round of correction which matured from 330, that entire one round of selling is done and dusted, and now the stock is attempting a recovery rally. So, if you are looking from a next 2 to 3 month perspective, my thought is that 255 to 260 on the upside are the possible levels you can look forward to. At those levels, you can consider an exit in the stock since the broader term trend is still negative. So this view is medium term. Take an exit on rise around 255 to 260 is the recommendation.
Fair point. We'll definitely note this down. I hope, Nancy, this has answered your question. Next, we have a question coming in from Satya CK. He said, I want to know on Paradeep phosphates, my purchase level is 137. Can you please let me know a medium term outlook and what is the best level to exit from my position on Paradeep phosphates?
I believe I'm looking at the weekly charts, and it has a stupendous rally as I see it right now, right
Yes.
from I think 85 odd levels to 148. It's almost a doubler for you in a matter
Yes.
of I think 5 to 6 weeks. So yes, on short-term charts you will have maybe a time correction, small rounds of profit booking, but there is no serious threat on the price chart as I see it right now. Currently, it's in a very healthy uptrend, and it's too early to make a projection, but I think 175 is where the stock is heading for, where you can consider taking half the profits off the table. So 175 is the target expectation right now. You can continue to hold 150, 140 to 145 is a strong support zone from short-term trading. So hold for targets of 175 is the advice.
Okay, you can hold on for targets of 175. In fact, meanwhile, also look at booking half your profits as well if you want to at this point in time. But do definitely keep in mind all the stop losses that have been suggested to you. Next, we have Manoj Bhai Kapadia writing in. He says, BSC पे क्या इस लेवल पर खरीदारी कर सकते हैं? 2 साल तक का अगर व्यू हो तो BSC पर क्या व्यू है? लो लेवल से भी काफ़ी एक बाउंस अच्छा स्ट्रॉन्ग आया है, हमने BSC पर देखा है. साल 2024 में काफ़ी बढ़िया रनअप था BSC में. उसके बाद कंसोलिडेशन जो लास्ट 3-4 महीने में 5 महीने में हमें दिखा, उसके बाद से भी एक बाउंस ज़रूर आया है. अब ये तकरीबन 6500 के आसपास पहुंच गया है. BSC पर क्या अभी भी खरीदारी का मौका बनता है, अक्षय?
जी, बहुत ही हेल्दी अप ट्रेंड में है टेक्निकल प्राइस चार्ट पे। और
जी.
अगर आप देखें तो अगर आपका व्यू लॉन्गर टर्म का है, आप इन्वेस्टमेंट के नजरिया से देख रहे हो, तो 6000 का जो एक स्विंग हाई था उसने भी बहुत ही आसानी से वॉल्यूम्स के साथ ब्रीच करा है टेक्निकल चार्ट्स पे। तो एक बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉजिटिव डेवलपमेंट है और बने रहने की राय रहेगी। कुल मिला के अगर आपका 1 साल के ऊपर का नजरिया है तो 7200 7500 ये पॉसिबल टारगेट प्रोजेक्शंस बन सकते हैं बीएससी में। अभी फिलहाल 5700 ये एक सपोर्ट उभर के आ रहा है, तो 5700 के ऊपर जब तक है आपको कोई चिंता करने वाली बात है नहीं। 7000 प्लस के टारगेट के लिए बने रहने की राय रहेगी।
ठीक है, चलिए 7000 प्लस के लेवल्स के लिए आपको बने रहने की यहाँ पर सलाह दी जा रही है. इस सलाह को आप डेफिनेटली फोकस पे रखें. नेक्स्ट हमारे पास सवाल आया है Mr. Dasir Adhika. He says, good afternoon. I am holding 300 shares of PPL Pharma. Okay, at the rate of 101. He wants to know if he wants to add some more stocks to his existing position. Can he do that at the current levels, or should he book profits and get out of this stock? PPL Pharma, he bought it at 101. Does it give any opportunity to accumulate?
As I'm looking at the weekly charts, still the price structure of PPL Pharma is very strong. It just recently had one slight round of sideways corrective action from 280 to 200, but really that does not disturb the longer term price structure of this chart. Right now, there is a clear support of 180, which has been charted on the stock price. And till the stock is trading above 180, you really have no reason to worry for. There is a very good chance that the stock may reattempt a high till 275. That time horizon might be around 5 to 6 months for targets of 275, and further targets open up after that. So right now the suggestion is you revise your stop loss since you have bought it at 100. Keep it at 177, which is the support zone which I mentioned. So in case there is some untoward development and the stock breaks the support, you are protected, you are in profits in the worst case scenario. Right now, hold and try to book half of your quantity once the stock tests the levels of around 275 to 280. So hold, the positive view continues for PPL farming.
Okay. Let's look at some other aspects as well that are coming in, some questions. We have Ajay from Meerut writing in. He says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Ajay. How are you? TCPL packaging is his question on. He says, at the current levels, I want to know how would you really look at the stock? I already have some existing position on TCPL packaging, about 84 shares at 896 levels. So I am sitting on profits, but I want to know what's the future prospect of TCPL packaging and what should my existing position, how should I be really moving forward with my existing position? That's his question.
So if you have bought it at 895, you are sitting on a massive profit gain. We are around 3980 as I see on the charts. So first of all, congratulations to you for an excellent stock pick. And still, as I look at the price chart, there is no major sign of reversal or correction as yet. The recent support zone which the stock is suggesting is somewhere around 3450. So till 3450 holds, you can expect the stock to stage a rebound, get to 4500 and still get into new uncharted territories, as we call it, that is new high lifetime highs. So continue to maintain a hold. Right now the support which you need to consider is 3450. In case the stock does break this support, then consider offloading some quantity of your shares because you are sitting at massive profits. Otherwise, broadly, as going by the current chart structure, the stock is heading for levels of 5000 plus.
Okay, fair point. Let's look at some of the other pockets then. We have this question coming in from Vinita Gupta. She says, hi Sakshi, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Vinita. Hope you're doing well. I want to know the average levels of Adani Power. I already have a position at 690, and the other one she has is SW Solar at 420. Now she wants to average both these stocks. Now, would you advise an average on both Adani Power and SW Solar at the current levels, or would you suggest an exit on one and continue to holding on the other?
Well, first, talking about Adani Power, there has been some corrective action in Adani Power, but the
Yes.
positive development is that there is a clear short-term support zone of 460, which is evident on the price charts. Volumes are picking up at the support zone, so that's a healthy indication that possibly there is accumulation and the stock may head for an upside levels for 700 plus. So yes, if you are open to averaging, you can average at the current rates. Your stop loss will be below 460 because that's the support we are looking at. And in case of a recovery, your target zone should be 700 to 750. So Adani Power, you can go ahead with averaging or buying. And as far as SW Solar, that's the other stock you mentioned.
Yes.
I think is this? I'm not able to get this on the price chart.
Sterling and Wilson Solar.
Oh,
So,
got it. Yeah,
yeah.
Sterling, Sterling and Wilson.
So, Vinita
So
got this
Sterling
at
and Wilson
420.
Renewable Energy, yeah, yeah. So yes, this stock has corrected significantly compared to the other script which you mentioned, but at these levels from where it has bounced, it is a massive monthly support zone 254. Considering the intensity of the fall which the stock has, the recovery is not going to be smooth in one way. It will take time, but overall the projection which I see is till 440 to 450. That's more of a 3 to 6 month time horizon time projection. So if a choice has to be made, the Adani Power, the group stock which you picked up is a better pick over SW Solar. SW Solar too has some upside to go, but the journey will be slow.
Okay. Let's take another one then. Satyanarayan Rao Kulkarni writes in, says, good afternoon. Please let me know a short-term view on these two stocks. One is Naukri, that's InfoEdge, and the other one is from the cables and wires space, Polycab. So InfoEdge and Polycab, for a short-term view, which one looks more promising to take a fresh entry?
Um, InfoEdge, I think IT stocks are making a rebound. And InfoEdge also, if you look at the last 3 weeks of price action, there has certainly been positive traction a pullback tendency from the levels of 6300. So clearly 6300 is the short term support zone which you can look forward to, and in case of pullback scenario, the stock can move to levels of 8000. So 8000 is the short term upside target which I'm looking forward to. So Info Edge can be a pullback candidate, is one of good stocks in the IT space. And the other stock is Polycab, which you mentioned. So
Yes.
Polycab here, the price structure, Polycab was in bit of a problem I think a couple of months back because of some news development where we did see some massive selling, but post that the stock is making a recovery attempt. But I believe if a choice has to be taken among the two, the prior stock which we discussed is in a better shape for a recovery rally. Polycab right now can see a small bounce back till 5870, but I prefer the other stock over Polycab.
Okay. Let's take another question then. This one is from Jinal Shah from Ahmedabad. Jinal, hi, how are you? She says, which is a better choice between these two IT names, Infosys or HCL Tech for a fresh buy? Remember, HCL Tech jumped up about 8 odd percent yesterday after its earnings as well. So that led to the entire move on the IT space. Between the two, which one would offer better risk reward, Akshay?
Uh, well, see, IT space is coming out from a hibernation or a negative price traction, which was pretty evident in the last 3 odd months. So the rebound is looking pretty good in most of the IT names here. I think even post the quarterly results which have come out, despite muted numbers, most of the IT names are reacting positively. So a pullback scenario is working out in majority of IT names. But really, if a choice is to be made, whether I buy HCL Tech or I buy Infosys, I would stick with the stronger name here, which is HCL Tech, because the rebound, although 7% in a single day, comes on back of strong results. So I think despite the risk reward being a bit not entirely in favorable of a buy position here, you should divide your buying positions in two tranches, buy at current market price and maybe average around 1550. I think the stock is possibly heading for levels of 1785 to 1800 within a time horizon of 1.5 to 3 months maximum. So my choice is HCL Tech over Infosys.
Okay, got that. I hope this has answered your question, Jinal. Next, we have Satyan writing in, says, hi Sakshi, good afternoon. I want to know whether I could go for Tata Motors for a fresh long after the recent move that has come in, or should I go for a Sona BLW? Okay, so one is a frontline OEM player, Tata Motors, and the other one is an auto ancillary, Sona BLW. Which one would you recommend?
I think it's better to stick with the stronger name, Tata Motors. It is a heavily beaten down name. I think from 1100 to 600, it's almost got half of its price in a
Yeah.
matter of 4 to 5 months. And clearly on the price charts, there is a very strong evidence that 600, 580 levels may be a potential bottom. And from here, the risk reward payoff absolutely works in your favor if you were to buy Tata Motors here. So I think this stock has a good bottom formation indications on the prices. Volumes are picking up hard, and if I were to make a prediction about the possible targets, 800 is where you can look forward to in a matter of 1.5 to 3 months time frame. So my choice will be Tata Motors to buy over Sona BMW.
Okay, I'm going to pick Ratna Prabhu's question, Ratna Prabha's question, because she is asking the question on the space that I wanted Akshay to also give a view on. She says, hi Sakshi, hi Ratna, hope you're doing well. I want to know about HUL. 10 shares is what I have at an average price of 2400, and after a long time my stock went into green, but again it slipped. I want to know what exactly should I be doing. I've been holding for 200 days odd on HUL without many substantial moves on this one. You're right, earnings have come in, Ratna. First of all, that's why you're seeing that 4% dip come in on HUL. Why? Because the stock is falling on the margin worries despite volume growth coming in line with the expectations. So remember, the company has posted the earnings in which they have expected that the kind of volume growth that they have posted is about 2 odd percent, and the EBITDA margins They now expect between 22 to 23%, lower than their earlier range of 23 to 24%, and that's what is leading to some kind of a dip on HUL stock. Remember that for the March quarter, EBITDA margin has stood at 22.8%. That's also slipped from the last year's same quarter, and also the company is stepping up investments in the land portfolio for transformation of high growth demand spaces and supported by a strong innovation pipeline as well. That's also something that the company has highlighted. Their home care business has seen a revenue growth of 5,800 crores, beauty well-being at 3,200 crores, personal care at 2,000 crores, foods business at 3,890 crores as well. 37% of HUL's revenue has actually come in from the home care business this time around. So we'll just focus on HUL and we'll find out what exactly should be done. So margin guidance is lower and that is what is pulling down the stock. Akshay, what would you advise?
Yeah, so initially, I believe, as you mentioned, the finer points of the quarterly results, which came out just a few hours back, I think it's more in line or slightly, not in favor of a possible momentum pickup. That's why you have seen some profit booking at higher levels. But overall, if I were to analyze the stock from a 1.5, 3 month perspective, there is a very strong support at 2150, which the stock has cemented and is showing a tendency of a pullback or a rebound. So, being a defensive nature stock and FMCG sector stock, it is going to take time to recover back to levels of 2550, 2600. So, continue to be invested or hold if you have a time horizon of 3 month plus. I'm sure you should be getting levels of 2600 where you need to take a decision again or revise your maybe kind of offload some quantity, but 2550, 2600 is the potential targets. I look forward to HUL in the coming days.
Okay, and what about Nestle and HUL if you have to compare? Because Nestle also came out with the earnings, volume growth of 2%, a 10 rupee dividend has been also declared. The record date has been fixed at July 4th over there too for the same. And what we've seen is that as far as the company's net profit is concerned for Q4, it's come in at 885 crores, slightly lower than the estimates of the street. And in the same quarter last year, the net profit had come in at 934 crores, so there is a decrease on that account as well. What we are also seeing is that revenue has risen by 4% odd year on year for the company, and commodity prices continue to be firm, especially for coffee. Cocoa prices although have corrected. Prices continue to be stable for edible oils, they have said. They also mentioned that milk prices have cyclically firmed up, and that's something that they will be looking at for the summer months as well. Any suggestion on Nestle versus HUL between the large FMCG players? How should one look at both these?
So, if a comparison has to be made between Nestle and HUL purely on basis of the technical price charts, I would prefer Nestle India over HUL. One of the reasons being that in Nestle India, we have had a price breakout at the levels of 23,040. So this breakout was seen a couple of weeks back, and that's a positive development in the stock. So you have a scenario where a support of 2200 is being cemented by Nestle. Post that, you have a price breakout, which is more of a momentum factor working in your favor, and the possible target projection here works out till 2700. That's a 3 month kind of a time horizon, time projection. So Nestle India certainly is better positioned or stronger in terms of the momentum pickup over HUL. And if a choice is to be made, prefer Nestle India over HUL.
Okay, got that. I hope this has answered your question, Ratna, and of course, given a lot of viewpoints to the viewers who are looking at FMCG players post earnings. Next, we have this question from Sri Hari Krishna from Hyderabad. Sri Hari Krishna says, I'm holding Voltas at the rate of 1360. I want to know whether I should continue to hold, add more, or exit at the current levels. Okay, Voltas, we do remember like last 1.5 months, odd consumer durables were in focus. They were picking up pace on the demand scenario for the upcoming summer months, but now there is some kind of a softness that's taking place. Bought at 1360, so it's definitely cooled off from the purchase level for Sri Hari Krishna. What should be the suggestion here, Akshay?
See, the price structure from a medium term perspective still is negative. It is just that the stock is closely hanging on to its important support of 1200. So, really, 1200 is your pivotal point if your trades are based on technical charts. Till 1200 holds, there is hope that the stock may make another attempt or a recovery rally, which can see 1420, 1430 at the best. So it's more of a trading setup which we have right now in Voltas. And from a medium to longer term perspective, at least level wise, 1200 is what the prices have to hold, and later on see a momentum pickup in case we are looking from an investment horizon. So clearly, right now my device is keep stop losses below 1180. Strict stop losses are a must. Personally, I feel the stock will be in a range. So I would personally, if a choice was given, take an exit out of Voltas and might as well switch over to Havels, which has a better technical setup than Voltas.
Okay, fair point. Let's look at one or two more questions with Akshay before thanking him. We have this question, last one that we will take with you. Again, from Hari, he says that I'm holding Pokeran at 1360. Okay, let's look at Pokeran's share price at this point in time, 956, and you bought it at 1362. So it's really come down quite a bit from your own purchase levels. I think you must have bought at the absolute peak at around February, and it held on its move up until March, but I think from that levels it has actually come down over the last 1 month odd or so. Any suggestion on Pokarna?
So Pokarna, I believe, the sell-off which we saw a couple of weeks back, that week was a really hard week for the stock. I think 1276 to 800 was the wipeout which we saw in prices in a very short time frame duration. Probably, there might be some fundamental news behind this because I really don't track the stock on a fundamental basis. But technically, there is disruption in terms of price action, and for a recovery it's going to take a lot of time after such a huge sell off on a weekly basis. So right now what we are looking at is the support of 780. This support I feel should hold on for the next coming 2 3 weeks. So you have a scenario where the stock might stay sideways, but really the advice is after such a big sell off, it makes a lot of sense to take an exit out of this stock if you are a short term trader with if your time horizon is limited for maybe a month or two. Better to take an exit and might as well shift over to some other stronger name.
Fine. Last question to you then, Akshay. Your top choices in terms of key stocks. Where are you looking at for positive momentum to build up from here, and where can investors invest afresh now?
So, Tata Motors is one stock which we discussed on your show. I think if one is searching for bottom fishing candidates in the auto space, Tata Motors is one name which you can consider. Second is Ashok Leyland, which is again from the auto space and one counter where you need to buy and hold with an investment horizon. Minimum 3 months is the holding period I suggest. And looking at the price setup, my target estimation is that this stock should cross 260 plus. So this is another name you can look forward to. And Federal Bank from the private banking space is another name which you can look forward to. Again, out of the mid and small banking space, this has a very strong chart structure where the charts are hinting for targets of 230 plus with a time horizon of around 3 odd months. So these are my three topics which you can consider.
Okay, got that. Well, thank you so much, then, Akshay, for being with us on the show and helping all our viewers out with their answers on their questions, and of course, sharing with us your top choices as well over the next 2 or 3 months. We'll keep an eye out on both these stocks that you have marked out for all our viewers to keep an eye out on as well. Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate your being with us on the program. We'll come back to the markets, and then we will introduce another guest who will be joining in very shortly with us on the show. We'll be joined by Ruchit Jain, Vice President and Head of Equity Technical Research Wealth Management at Motilal Oswal Financial Services. And in fact, Ruchit is now with us. Ruchit, hi, warm welcome. Good afternoon to you. Tell us what's the fresh view on the markets after 7 days of a positive move. Today there is some kind of a softness, so probably there could be a break on that 7 day of a winning streak. But is it only going to be, about a momentous break, and then are we going to go back onto the onward journey?
Hi, very good afternoon, Sakshi. Yes, Sakshi, we have seen that no, post that recent low formation of around 21,700, 21,800, our markets have seen the first leg of the next uptrend which has started. The good thing is that this move has been supported by broad market participation and couple of factors which were negative for our market since the month of October during that corrective phase, such as the dollar index, rising dollar index, or FI selling. Now that has turned in favor for our markets. We can see that FIs have started buying in the equity segment, in the cash segment, and also in the index future. They have started covering their existing short positions, and also the dollar index has corrected, below 100, which is again positive for emerging markets such as India. So we believe that these factors will keep the positive momentum intact, from a broader perspective. But yes, from a very short-term perspective, last 7, 8 trading sessions, our markets have already seen a very sharp run up. So the momentum readings are a bit in overbought zone. So you might see some consolidation or minor dips first, and then again resume the uptrend. So it won't be a one-way rally, no, what we have seen over last 8 to 10 trading sessions. But no, a buy and dip strategy I think should be kept over here, which should be beneficial. So we are advising no traders to keep a buy and dip strategy, and in case of any declines, look for buying opportunity. But yes, if you are looking for stock specific or sector specific opportunities, and I think a lot of no stocks are still seeing that no where good momentum over short to medium term could be seen.
Okay. Okay, so that's the overall view on the markets. Ruchit, we have a lot of questions coming in, so we'll straight away dive into the questions that are coming in for you from our viewers, and we'll come back to the market chat in a bit. Let's take Ankur's question. He says, "Hi Sakshi, hope you're doing well. Could you please ask your guest to suggest which is a better stock between all these three? Allied Blenders, Som Distilleries, or Sula Wines?" So I think this all from the liquor space that he has chosen. Allied Blenders, Som Distilleries, or Sula Vineyard. Between the three, which one looks technically positive, stronger on the charts, and where can one invest at the current levels for about long term is what his question is.
If I do comparative analysis between all three, then I think Som Distilleries clearly stands out where the stock has recently given a breakout from its consolidation. And even
Okay.
when the broader markets were correcting and the Som Distilleries, the price wise correction was very less over there. So I think based on the relative outperformance amongst all three, and even the volumes are better in Som Distilleries compared to Allied Blenders and other names. So, no, I would recommend if one has to buy anything from the liquor space or within these three, if he has to make a choice, then you should go with some distilleries.
Okay, got that. Som Distilleries is the choice. I hope this has answered your question, Ankur. We'll take the next one. This is from Samvit Nageshwar. He says, "I'm planning to take a trade in Wipro, 200 put option for May expiry. I need your views on it. Can I go for it? Wipro put option."
No, it won't be recommended because we can clearly see that IT, which has been one of the
Yes.
significant underperformers in the recent past, mainly because of uncertainties related to US post the tariff trade wars which were there. So since that uncertainty is reduced and hopes are increasing, so the downside, the price-wise corrective phase in IT names could be a bit limited from here on. We might see some pullback move which we are witnessing since last couple of trading session or a consolidation phase, but at least not expecting any significant price-wise correction in the Wipro. And if you are looking to buy put options, then even if it stays sideways, then that could go against you. So I would recommend to avoid no buying any kind of put option in Wipro if you are looking for short term.
ओके गॉट दैट इनफैक्ट ब्रिजेश श्रिवहरे का भी यही सवाल आया है, जबलपुर से ये हैं और ये लिखते हैं, हेलो मैम, मैं डेली शो आपका वॉच करता हूँ और न्यू एक्सपर्ट से रोज़ क्वेश्चन पूछने से हमें बहुत बेनिफिट होता है. थैंक यू सो मच ब्रिजेश, ब्रिजेंद्र जी. इनका भी सवाल विप्रो के ऊपर ही था. ऑलरेडी 260 के लेवल्स पर खरीदारी है, तो क्या बने रहे हैं अभी इस पर?
सी आई थिंक नो प्राइस वाइज पेन इन्होंने ऑलरेडी देख लिया है. सो ये ऐसे लेवल्स नहीं है कि जहाँ पे ये स्टॉक से आपको लॉस बुक करके एग्जिट करने चाहिए.
ठीक है.
बट ये थोड़ा सा टाइम वाइज करेक्शन डेफिनेटली स्टॉक में रह सकता है कि जहाँ पे कुछ समय का कंसोलिडेशन या साइडवेज ट्रेंड रहेगा. सो मेरे हिसाब से नो अभी लॉस बुक नहीं करना चाहिए. फिलहाल अपनी पोजीशंस को होल्ड करें ऐसे ही. नियर फ्यूचर में कभी भी ये अपमूव में 260 265 की रेंज में अगर आता है तो वहां पे एक बार फिर से बाद में रिव्यू करिएगा.
ठीक है. Next, we'll take this question. This is from Vivek from Kerala. He says, I'm holding Coal India shares at 380. Right now, it's come back to around 400 levels, but I have an investment for 3 years. I want to add more also at the current levels. Can I go for it at around 400 levels, even at the current levels as well? Rujit, on Coal India?
Yes, the stock has seen a decent price-wise correction along with the broader market since the month of October. The high was around 540 months ago, and right now it's trading around that 400 mark. So already price-wise correction has been seen. Uh, a bit sideways trend couldn't be expected for the near term, but since his view is more from a longer-term perspective, I think he can look for buying the stock in a staggered manner, where no, the broad range for the stock is seen in from for 350 to 420, 430. So at current levels, you can start buying over here if he's a long-term investor, but keep some room that in case if we get any kind of dips, no smaller dips in the near future, then look to add more on declines.
Okay, let's take the next question. This one is from Sufia Hassan Khan. कैसे हैं खान साहब? His question is on Action Construction Equipment, ACE. And he wants to know whether he can take any fresh positions on ACE at the current levels.
It doesn't seem that the stock has resumed any kind of uptrend. You can see that last, 8, 10 days when the markets, when the mid caps and the small cap space has seen a significant run up, you have not seen any kind of participation from Action Construction. Neither the volumes are so strong, which indicates any kind of uptrend starting soon. So I can keep it on watch list, but no, not the setups are not there where you should look for buying at current levels.
Okay, got that. I hope this has answered your question. Let's look at one more question. This one is from Satyanarayan. He says, Ma'am, I have 50 shares of Whirlpool at the rate of 1724. I want to know, can I book loss here or should I continue to hold my position? On Whirlpool, he's been facing a lot of pain. He wants to now book his losses. Bought at 1724. Right now, the stock has 1130. So he's actually seen a lot of pain and now he wants to know what's the way out.
The overall trend still remains negative. We have seen that in the month of January, the stock has witnessed a back-to-back couple of circuits where major long-term supports were also breached. So I don't think that the stock would see any kind of significant uptrend anytime soon. But I would suggest him to keep a sell on rise strategy for the stock. In the near term, if you get any rise towards the 1250, 1300 range, then your losses could be reduced a bit, and those would be the levels where you can review to take an exit.
Okay. Uh, yes, let's take another one. This is from Maurya. He says, can you please share an outlook on Tata Power for the May series particularly? Rujit.
So for May series, I think we should see a gradual up move in Tata Power towards 415 to 420. In this month itself, the stock has given a breakout above its 200-day exponential moving average post the recent corrective phase. So the downside seems to be very limited from here on. 375, 380 should be the support on any kind of dips, and we could expect levels around 420.
Okay, got that. Let's look at some of the other questions that are coming in. Okay, we have this question from one of our viewers on our WhatsApp as well. Yes, we have this question from Momita from Kolkata. She says, I have Bank of Baroda at the rate of 210. What should I do now? Should I continue to hold on or should I sell? I can also look at IEX instead if the suggestion is to exit, but I want a view on both. Okay, Bank of Baroda at 210. Slowly and gradually, PSU banks are again coming back in flavor. Is this the right time to exit Bank of Baroda or should one hold on? And the second one is on IEX.
So Bank of Baroda, I would suggest to continue to hold on rather than exit over here. Already the banking space has gone through a lot of corrective correction, especially the PSU names. And recently, we can clearly see in this leg of up move which has started, the banking and the NBFC space have shown a good relative outperformance and a good buying interest. Now the bond yields have also have been correcting since last few days. If you look at Indian bond yield, and generally this falling bond yield scenario is also positive for the PSU banks. So price wise downside seems to be limited from Bank of Baroda, and since his buying price is also at lower levels, I think there's a good margin of safety for him that he can have patience and wait in case the smaller correction comes in. So I would suggest to continue to hold Bank of Baroda. IEX, where we have seen more of a underperformance in the stock over last few months. 195 to 200 continues to remain a hurdle for the stock, which needs to be surpassed with good volumes for any kind of uptrend to come in. So for now, doesn't seem that we would see significant uptrend in IEX. Can be the stock to keep on watch list, but not a buying recommendation over here.
Okay, got that. We'll take another question. This is from Sindhu Ramdas. And Sindhu says, I have 1 lakh rupees to be invested for 1 month. Could you please guide me where can I invest? So I think he's looking for just a 1 month view on some of the stocks where he can divide his money and put his money in some stocks. So choice is yours now, Ruchit, to give us a sense of where over next 1 month can handsome profits be made.
So I think no, already the markets have seen a run up in last 8 to 10 trading sessions.
Yeah.
So this is one time where, as I suggested at the start of the show, that one should keep more of a buy and dip strategy.
Yeah.
A couple of stocks which are looking positive if you are looking from next 1 month perspective. One is Ultratech Cement, where we have seen last 8 to 10 months the entire cement space have seen more of a consolidation, especially Ultratech Cement also. Whenever it comes around the 1200, 12,000, 12,100, it faces resistance. Now, today the stock is showing signs of a breakout from the 10 months of consolidation phase. So we could see a good momentum in next 1 month in Ultratech Cement. So one is that stock which you can buy, and other would be the pharma name Divi's Laboratories. So when we have seen a good amount of consolidation in Divi's Laboratory, and good thing if you see whenever there is a corrective phase, we are not seeing any volume-based selling in DV's lab when the market when the stock corrects with the broader markets. But yes, at lower levels, a good buying interest is usually seen in DV's lab with good volume. The stock is almost approaching its 52-week high again. So this is also expected to do well. So you can split your investment in these two stocks, DV's lab and Ultratech for next 1 month.
Okay, Ultratech Cement and Divi's Laboratories. Split your funds and invest in both these counters for the next 1 month. Kalpesh Patel writes in, he says, I have a short on May expiry futures on Bajaj Finance at 9,550. My target is somewhere around 8,800. Is it possible? Remember, Bajaj Finance also is news bound. It will be announcing its split and bonus and considering that on April 29th as well. Any suggestion on for the May series, a short on Bajaj Finance at 95.50?
There are a couple of things. One is that the NBFC space has been outperforming in this leg of up move. So no doubt for a sector as a whole, the overall trend seems to be positive, and within that, Bajaj Finance has also recently given a breakout after 4 years of consolidation phase. So that is a positive thing. And secondly, we usually see that whenever such stocks, declare bonuses or big dividends, then generally good buying interest is there from the mid to long term investors. So I think both these factors, would restrict the price-wise corrective move in Bajaj Finance. It seems. So I would suggest not to remain short in Bajaj Finance, and no, in case of minor dips or even at current levels, look for no opportunities where you can take an exit.
Okay, got that. Hope this has also helped all of our viewers out with all their views and the questions that they've asked. Ruchit, we'll thank you on that note for being with us on the show and helping all our viewers out with all the questions that they have asked on the program. Thank you so much, and we'll hope to
Thank
catch
you,
up
Sakshi.
again with
Yeah.
you to get an insight on the markets and, of course, answering all the questions from our viewers. 63 points of a cut on the Nifty. It's a mild loss, so you should not be worried too much. Remember, we've actually been running for the last 7 days, so it's a slight pause, 24,266 on the Nifty. But what we'll do is we'll wrap up the trade right now on the Daily Calls show, but we'll come back with more shows speaking to market experts about what exactly should your strategy be. And of course, 3 p.m. will be the closing bell, so stay tuned with us on Business Today.
Around 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon, tourists were soaking in the scenic beauty of Pahalgam.